03 Everest from Keystone here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. You know, the exterior and interior conditions of this could easily convince you that it is newer than that. This has been used but well kept. I have a sneaking suspicion that these folks didn't just maintain this well. I think it has spent a fair amount of time potentially either under a cover or stored indoors at some point. It has spent a good deal of time outside, but I think over winter storage it's probably been covered quite a bit. You know, the front stickers and decals on a lot of RVs tend to be one of the very first things to get weathered and checked, and you see that that's not the case here. The ones on this side, if I zoom right in on them, you can see where they're spider cracked a little bit, but they're not curling and peeling. So that means that they haven't had prolonged unattended exposure. That means that they were kept fairly well. If you're looking at these little brackets up here, those are an indicator that at some point this had the slide out awning covers on it. My guess, due to the age of this RV, is just simply the fact that they did their job, and you know, after a while the sun will get to them and they did wear out. So my estimation is that rather than replace them, the previous owners just kind of removed them and had a nice clean looking fifth wheel when they were done. I've been up on the roof, I've been inside and outside of this. It has been well kept, well cleaned, and well used. You know, I mean, intelligently used. They haven't worn this thing out. They didn't break things then leave them or anything like that. Anything that looks like it ever needed addressed, they did. They actually traded this and a 1-ton, no, 3/4 ton heavy-duty GMC that they used to pull this in on a Class C motorhome. So they're still RVing. They just changed their arrangement, essentially. This has a big front pass-through storage here, and you will find some that are taller, but they're really not any more effective than this one is the thing. A tall pass-through storage looks super impressive, but it does actually cost a little bit more to build them that way. But on top of that, really what you need is a long, wide storage compartment like this so you can actually put in your big camping chairs and whatnot. This one gets the job done very, very well in a way that doesn't really increase the cost arbitrarily. I see a couple spots where maybe there had been some kind of decals on here that someone had peeled and removed and cleaned off at some point. There's a little, if you see that little discoloration, but again, they did a nice job of it. They didn't leave things behind. This also has that bright honey oak interior styling that I really like. To me, this is what campers were like for, I mean, just not even years, but decades. And, you know, this is what really speaks to me. And I guess it's one of those things that all depends on what RVs looked like when you started camping, you know. This is a double living room slide with bedroom slide, 3 slides total. 32-foot floor plan, probably measures 34 to 5 feet tip to tail. Though you got to remember a good chunk of that does hang over your truck when you're going down the road. The professional term for what we're looking at here is about 1 billion windows. This thing has a ton of windows, and they are all big. They all open for ventilation. They all have shades for privacy and whatnot. We do have a nice little full hardwood dinette here. I think what you're going to find most of the time is you're going to take 2 of these chairs and you're going to store them in that front closet and use this just like a common 2-person dinette. If you have guests or family over, you'll pull the other 2 chairs out when you need them. That's what you're going to find pretty often. If you're kind of curious, you know, the Everest is a name that has since been phased out and replaced by Alpine. If you see a Keystone Alpine out there, this is its grandfather. This is where it started. There was Montana and Everest were the 2 high-end fifth wheels from Keystone. They've just made enough tweaks to it over the years that they felt like it justified a name change from Everest. That happened in 09 or 10, something like that is when they made that change. So here we're looking at a big entertainment slide. This is your big TV hutch over here. And remember, this was built way before the age of flat screen, so it is a very deep, large entertainment center. What's cool is you could easily put like a TV in front of it and have storage and whatnot behind. Oh my gosh, I just spotted this. Owner's manuals, original owner's manuals and brochure and whatnot. That is cool. People who keep track of their owner's manuals, in my experience, tend to keep better care of their RV. That has been the case in my experience almost 9 times out of 10, if not more. I do like the little computer desk or office station that you have right here. There's even a little phone line, so if you are at a place where you do have phone service, you know, traditional phone service, you're all set there. Here in the living room, you see that we do have a larger Max Air style fan to help keep air moving if you open all the windows. That way you don't need to necessarily you know, have the air screaming the entire time. You're probably noticing the obvious lack of chairs or any sort of fixture in the back section here. When the previous owners, the ones that traded it to us, were not the original owners. When they bought it, it had no furniture back here, just like what you're looking at. Mrs. put her sewing table right here, and this was her craft space because it is a very large living space. So, you know, they still had the sofa over here on Boardwalk and Park Place where they could kick their feet up and just have a good time. But in the meantime, she had a craft area to work in over in this direction. It is worth noting, this carpet is basically brand new. They installed all this carpet, had it professionally installed last year. And man, they did a great job. I mean, if you look at this kind of, if you didn't know better, you would have probably figured this was factory carpet that they just took good care of. And one better than that, it's new carpet, and these folks were willing to invest money to keep their investment looking great and in top shape and order. That's almost more impressive, and there's some serious padding under this carpet. Just a quick look at the entertainment center from the opposite direction. You see that ceiling fan up there, just like the power vent fan that we already looked at. That's designed to keep some air flowing around in here when you don't necessarily want to run the air conditioner all the time. You have some really killer storage in this kitchen too. The kitchen seems pretty minimal, but when you start opening everything, you find out it's actually quite large. Now, you see how all of your cabinetry here is all pocket screwed? It's not stable. In a time where almost all campers had stapled or glued cabinetry, they were using, you know, screws in this like you'd have in your own residential construction. This has always been, again, one of Keystone's premier level units, and you know the attention to detail is obvious and different from what you will commonly find out there. Great storage going on over here in the kitchen. We've got a whole bunch of drawers. Larger 22-inch oven instead of a 16. And I tell you, I don't think they ever use that oven. Most people don't. The refrigerator over here, looking at that, I'm thinking that's an 8 cubic foot. It's just mounted really high, so it wants to trick your eyes into thinking it's a 10. And I do love the little pull-out pantry here. That's something I've always kind of been a sucker for. It's just really smart and effective, and it does a really good job of maximizing functional storage space without a high cost. 3 steps, not 2, so it is easy to get up here, and they're carpeted, so they're not slippery. If you've had knee or hip work and, you know, footing is a bit of a concern for you, this will be a nice coach. This is a very common split bath. This is the type of floor plan that Keystone built their empire upon. The whole point of a mid bath is you get all this open, walkable space here where everything feels more open, first of all. Building a coach like this does shave about 1.5 feet off of the RV, so that does keep it shorter and lighter. It also makes it less expensive because there's less material. It also means you can get dressed in here. You don't have to bash your head against the countertop to try to get dressed. Full queen bed here in the slide, and that is directly across from, or next to rather, the full front wardrobe here. Tons of storage going on. I love this little pass-through door here. That's something different that I kind of like. I noticed these little, I don't know, pocket door, drawer things, cabinets on each side of the bed. That's just a very nice decorative way of giving each person a nice little storage thing. But the thing I thought about is if you shift in bed a little bit, the stuff can't fall on your head. You can't rock stuff loose down there. Massive set of dresser drawers going on over here with more storage space above that. This is, by the way, is another one of those big power vent fans. And again, not the 4-inch plastic fan, but the full-size vent fan. Let me spin us around here real quick. Again, I mentioned this is kind of the advantage of the mid-bathroom is that you get all this space right here. And this is a full walk-in bedroom. I'm 6'3". I'm wearing some boots, and you can see that there's no problem with headspace in here. Oversized medicine cabinet built in a vanity style so that if you are going out for the night, maybe there's some sort of event at the campground or you're going to town for dinner, you can look good and know that you look good. You know, full walk-in shower, so again, you're not going to bang your head while you're in the shower. Now, this is kind of cool. They put this trim in here, and it really is sharp, but I mean, I had to look real close to realize that was not there from the factory. Again, they did excellent work wherever they did add or modify anything. The only thing I can take away from the interior here is this linoleum here in the bathroom on the side had curled just slightly, but that's just how, you know, an 03 camper, the way that they built them, that's how they all are. Once they, you know, they're exposed to the cold, that Armstrong linoleum after a few years, it quits being pliable, it quits stretching, and when it gets cold, it just starts to curl up. And there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a little unsightly, but chances are, had I not pointed that out, You never would have known that was there. You know, real quick, before I get too far along, we're looking at a full washer dryer closet here. You can use this like a big closet. It's a good space for brooms or vacuums, but you can put a combo or stackable washer dryer in here. But I mean, you know, you're going to see little things like that. You got to remember, this is an 03, but this is an extremely nice 03. So give us a call, 800-256-5196. Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Happy camping. Have some fun.